Okay, it's the last week of the month, 5 minutes into market open. We had a gap up in pre-market. So if you're on the 1 hour, 15-minute, 30-minute time frame, you can see it more clearly. But we have this gap of 170 points. Price just entered the top of the gap and is currently in a 4-hour bullish gap. This bullish sequence right here, this impulse upward, is resulting off of us entering this 1-day gap and taking out this sell side liquidity from this low right here. I think there's a decent chance we still push lower, especially since on the 1 day from this Friday candle, that body closed below the wick of this, so not much rejection. Not only that, from this low to this high up here, this is the 50% and 61.8% range, which price will typically want to retrace into. This is a perfect discount zone. It's like the golden zone that price will want to retrace into and then continue in the dominant trend direction, which if we're looking at the 1 day is still bullish. That's the dominant trend. But we're not trading the 1 day time frame. We're looking at 4-hour, 1 hour as our high time frames, and then we're trading 5-minute and below. So if you're looking at that, I would argue that we're still bearish. But right now we are in bullish market structure. We are in bullish confluences, like this 4-hour gap that we're rejecting off of nicely. And I would say if this candle body closes above this gap by the time 10 a.m. hits, I'm very confident that we're looking for longs. And then this downtrend at market open was caused by this candle entering this 1-hour bearish gap at 9 a.m., right? So now we know why we have this massive bearish candle. So that actually makes perfect sense for following the AMD strategy, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Price accumulated, it manipulated into this 1-hour bearish gap, and then we took out these lows, and then now I think we're just looking to distribute buy side. Now I'm just looking for a entry. I mean, we have this right here, which is decent, honestly. I think that's a good entry. It's a pretty decent entry. The only issue is we have that 1-minute bearish gap that we inverted with this bullish candle. Very clear bullish candle invert. But here's the problem. We have a 5-minute gap right above it right here, which at that point, it's like we could respect it on a low time frame, us inverting a bearish gap. And that's my confirmation, right? Especially when I see price in a 4-hour bullish gap rejecting off of this gap right here and have a high volume 1-minute candle close above the second candle in this bearish fair value gap sequence, like proving it invalid, proving it low in strength. That's a good confirmation to enter a trade. But the reason why I'm not is because that happened right below this 15-minute gap right here. So for all I know, price could reject off this 15-minute gap. What I'm ideally looking to see is price close above, candle body close above this level right here. So if we see a 5-minute candle body close above this candle, this open for this bearish candle, then I'm definitely considering longs, but I don't see it yet. Ideally, I want to see an SMT divergence as well, which I think I'm seeing. Yeah, I do. So this low is the Sunday 9:25 p.m. low. So let's just mark it real quick. That's a bullish SMT divergence because in relation to this low, ES has not taken it out. ES is still trading somewhere over here, not taking out this low. So we have a bullish SMT. We have a bullish SMT, which I will mark. And we also have to remember that this bullish SMT was a product of this downtrend, which was caused by price entering this 1-hour bearish and also creating, I think, a low time frame SMT. Yeah, because it's a very slight SMT. I'm not going to put too much weight on it, but ES did not take out this 8 a.m. high right here. This 8 a.m. market structure, ES did not take it out, whereas NQ did manipulate the high of this, entering that 1-hour bearish gap. So it's just something to consider. We know why we're downtrending, but now we're looking for what the dominant trend direction is, and I think we're looking for a bullish trade. Manipulating sell side liquidity while entering bullish confluence. That's kind of the formula for taking longs. I guess this was our accumulation in pre-market. Price accumulated right here. Price manipulated the sell side, and then maybe we distribute buy side. When we distribute, I'm not sure, but here's why I didn't enter a long at this candle body close. Sure, we inverted this bearish fair value gap at 9:35 a.m., 5 minutes into market open. That's a high liquidity environment. Like, not only are you seeing a confirmation on the 1 minute to take longs, you also have to remember it's a high liquidity environment that could generate bearish liquidity as well, right? Like, we could very well take out this low and retrace deeper into this gap. We have every right to, especially since this 4-hour gap we're in, that we saw that slight rejection, it still has 19 minutes left. We don't know what this candle is going to look like in the next 19 minutes by the time 10 a.m. hits. For all we know, we could fill the entirety of this gap, right? So let's be more patient and look for a higher time frame inverse. So I would have definitely taken longs if we inverted this 5-minute bearish right here, but we haven't done that. So now we're gonna wait. Yeah, ES has not even entered its gap, so I think we have some time. I definitely think waiting for 10 a.m. is the smart move. I want to see how this 4-hour candle finishes, if it's a full body or if it's a long wick. And then based on what we see there, it'll kind of give us an idea of if buyers or sellers have taken control. So I'll resume once we get closer to 10 a.m. Okay, so 4-hour and the 1-hour, we got 3 minutes left. There is no way that this candle body comes all the way back up here. That is, we're looking at, if we want us respecting this bullish confluence right here and considering longs, if we want that, we're going to have to retrace 180 points in 3 minutes. It's just not going to happen. So the bias is shorts. That's what we're going to do. A lot of selling pressure here. And honestly, that's substantiated by this 1-day bearish candle right here, closing below the wick of this prior. And then this candle entering this 1-day bearish gap as well. So I'm not surprised by shorts, right? Especially since I had a feeling we might want to fill this sell side liquidity as well as entering this 50% range. Now that I know we're taking shorts, I need a retracement entry. Okay, I need price to retrace into like a medium time frame fair value gap, and that would kind of be a good chance to allow confirmation on a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, maybe 5 minute, and then target this low right here. That's for sure what I'm looking for. I think there's even a higher chance if we don't fill this gap entirely and then we retrace back up, but I like this. Now, in terms of entries, I kind of want to see how this candle body closes in the next minute 50. If it closes above this wick right here, we could look for just a 15-minute simple retracement. But what's probably going to happen is we have this 5-minute gap right here, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, this 5-minute gap where we had a wick enter just under the 50% range, about 40%, 50% of the way through. But I think we can look for a deeper retracement and treat this as an intermediate high within this 5-minute bearish gap. So that's what I'm looking for. Price pulling back into this level right here. And then maybe we sweep that, and then I look for confirmation on a low time frame somewhere over here. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. To better explain, this is how it would look. Retrace, and then continuing in the dominant trend direction. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. So let's see. 50 seconds left. I still want to keep my eye open for an SMT. So there is no bearish SMT divergence anymore, obviously, because ES has entered the gap fill. It's about 50% of the way through. A little higher than NQ, but still, there's no SMT. I'm going to wait for that and once we kind of retrace, I'll resume and then look for an entry. Okay, so it's 10:05. Fully filled the gap, right? So now I think we'll have short uptrend that'll retrace into a bearish gap, and then we'll take a short, continue in the dominant trend direction. But there's absolutely no way we're looking for longs when we have a 1 hour bearish candle that looks like that. There's absolutely no way, right? So with that being said, on the 15-minute, actually on the 5-minute, we have two gaps. We have this intermediate high right here. That is if we do a deep retracement into like that 60% range, or there's a 5-minute gap right here, which is in the Fibonacci golden zone, right? So could be either or. That's if we do have a retracement. We're going to have to wait for one. We're not going to hit a continuation trade off of like no retracement, right? We need a discounted entry. So I'll wait for that, but we kind of have those two levels marked right now. I think a decent chance is that in the next 8 minutes, this candle body comes up here, closes a little bit higher, and then we look for a 15-minute entry. But yeah, there's absolutely no entry right now. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait. I was thinking like maybe this high right here that we entered, but this was before the 1 hour finished, right? We need to wait for the 1 hour to confirm to us that we're taking shorts. So gonna wait on that, and I'll resume once we do enter the gap and then have a confirmation. Okay, so it's 11:11, hour and 45 minutes till market open, or since market open. Finally retracing, entered this 5-minute bearish gap, did not hit this breaker block, so did not retrace back into this liquidity level that we took out, but there's no SMT here. I had that marked before when there was. So that's what we're kind of looking for. On the 30-minute, we just entered that 30-minute bearish gap too. So respecting a bearish or rejecting off of a bearish 30-minute gap right now, off of a 15-minute gap right now, off of a 5-minute gap right now. Just looking to inverse a low time frame bullish fair value gap. So the lowest one I see is on the 15-minute right here. Hoping to inverse that right here. So if we have a candle body take out this low, slam right through this low, I'd be ready to take a short, and then the way we'll risk it is about 122 times 2. It's about 250. 500 divided by 250 is 2. So we'll size 2 micros. I might add a contract if we kind of pull back a little more, but I'll start with 2. That's if we break this low on this move right here. Yeah, I don't see anything on the 1 minute, nothing on the 2. On the 3, it's the same candle right here. We have this gap, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. That's the second candle low that we're looking to break. And on the 5-minute, it's that right there. So if we have a close below that, I'd be pretty comfortable in taking a position. Definitely 2 micros is the move. I don't know if I want to do 3. And then I could add a runner at some point, but until we break, we're not just going to sit on the chart. So I'll resume once we hit that level. So I think 15 minutes left till 11:30. This is pretty late. I'm going to opt out on a trade today. Here's why. 2 reasons. The time, for one. And then, sure, in the next 3 minutes, we might have this candle body invert this candle right here. However, it took 3 candles to take out the low of the prior. I don't love that, right? That's kind of that kind of tells us that there's a little bit of resistance even in price moving bearish, and that it's not the strength in invalidating the fair value gap is not there. Although it's not there. It's not as evident. Not only that, if you go on the 15-minute time frame, we have a 15-minute gap right here. For all we know, price could pull all the way down here, not hit our TP, pull all the way down here, and then come up by the time the 15-minute time frame ends. So when it turns 11:30, and the candle body closed up here. Respecting, and that would mean that we're respecting the 15-minute gap, and if we do that, then who knows, we'll probably take out our stop loss too. So I don't love this trade. I don't think we're gonna take it. I don't think we're gonna take it. If I see something new, then I'll consider it. Otherwise, it's only Monday. We got the rest of the week.